Gentlemen, I'm going to compare all three Tom Ford cherry fragrances, Lost Cherry, Cherry Smoke and Electric Cherry, to tell you which one I think is the best one and tell you about the differences that all of these have from one another. Also, I'm going to show you two alternatives to the Lost Cherry scent DNA. Let's not waste any more time and let's begin. Let's start with the differences in scent profiles. The original Lost Cherry is going to be the most balanced one out of all three from the range. It's the most fruity, sweet, dense and almost jammy cherry heavy fragrance with a Palo Santo note in the base, which is really prominent and gives it almost a clean creaminess to the fragrance whenever it gets dry. And it's very unisex. It doesn't lean more masculine or more feminine, it's pretty much dead on unisex. Meanwhile, Cherry Smoke leans the most masculine out of all three of these because of the smoke and other woody notes in the base, with some other darker notes and nuances that really back up the cherry accord at top, giving the fragrance a more nuanced, more masculine feeling to the DNA. And lastly, Electric Cherry shares the same cherry note in the DNA, but it leans more over to a fresher and white floral approach, with some white florals and a ginger note combined with the cherry at the top, giving it a very slight, spicy but mostly fresh feeling, with the white florals boosting the fragrance in another direction from the Lost Cherry DNA, but still withholding it in a different way. It's the least complex and deep fragrance, but it's going to be the most easiest to wear, easiest to pull off, and the most versatile. But I think that's where it loses the interest. Lost Cherry and Cherry Smoke are going to be more deep, complex, juicier, darker, while Electric Cherry not only leans slightly more feminine than unisex, I still think can be worn by both sexes, but I still think it's the least interesting one and possibly not as worth it for the Tom Ford price tag. Still a decent fragrance, but not as interesting as the two other ones. Let's move over to an important criteria about these three fragrances, especially because of the hefty price tag that all three of these share, and that is longevity and performance. Lost Cherry is on my skin the one that lasts the most, with 10 to 12 hours of longevity, while Cherry Smoke on my skin lasts 8 to 10 hours, so just a little step lower than Lost Cherry. And Electric Cherry unfortunately is way below that, with 5 to 6 hours of longevity on my skin, making it the weakest fragrance from the cherry range from Tom Ford. So if longevity and performance is important to you, my best bet for you would be to look at Lost Cherry and Cherry Smoke. From longevity and performance to projection and sillage, and Lost Cherry has the best projection and sillage out of all three of these in my experience. When I wear it and when I smell other people wearing it, it projects very well in the first hour or two, but the sillage is very good and it just captures you in a very unique way. While Cherry Smoke shares the same feeling and experience, you might get a nosmic to it because people could smell me after 2 hours have gone by, but I couldn't really smell it myself unless I really put my nose close up to my hand where I tested out the fragrance. So projection and sillage is almost the same as the Lost Cherry, while Cherry Smoke is slightly different and possibly you will get a nosmic to it. And unfortunately, the bad news continue for Electric Cherry, with the projection being almost non-existent to possibly moderate on some people, but in my experience it isn't really there at all, but if it is, it's very mild. So which one of these three is the best one? Well, let's talk about that right now. In my opinion, the worst one out of all three of these is unfortunately Electric Cherry, with an immense improvement rating of 7.9 out of 10. I just don't think that the scent or the price tag that you pay for these is just not good enough. It's not deep, it's not complex, it's not interesting, and it just doesn't last or project at all on my skin. It's decent fragrance but not good enough, especially for the high price tag. Meanwhile, Cherry Smoke, which has its first appearance on the channel, was a surprise and I really enjoy it. It's in my opinion the fragrance with the most interesting scent profile, and for my taste it's the one that smells the best because of the smoky, darker, more masculine touches of the scent profile. But because it doesn't last 10 to 12 if not 12 plus hours and the projection could have been a little better, I have rated it an 8.9 out of 10 minutes improvement rating. So Lost Cherry keeps its 9 out of 10 minutes improvement rating, making it the fragrance that I think is the best one subjectively and the one that I think you should check out the most if you want any one of these three from the Tom Ford Cherry range. But even though I have given all three of these fragrances a rating, I have some alternatives for you guys if you're interested in the Tom Ford Lost Cherry scent profile DNA. The first alternative is Kayali Lovefest Burning Cherry 48. This is the most similar to Tom Ford Lost Cherry in the sense that it keeps this very jammy, sweet, dense cherry smell, but the difference that it has is the Palo Santo in the base. It becomes a very clean, woody scent with very fruity, sweet nuances, but it dries cleaner and more Palo Santo heavy than Lost Cherry does. It lasts 12 plus hours and is cheaper than Lost Cherry, but it's just not as complex as Lost Cherry. So because of the differences and very small insignificant changes between Lost Cherry and this fragrance, Kayali Lovefest Burning Cherry, I have also given this fragrance a 9 out of 10 minutes improvement rating. So if you're interested in the Lost Cherry DNA but you can't quite afford it, I think that is a great alternative. It's very similar, but I have something even cheaper but as good as this one, and that is a clone which is called M111 from the German clone brand Parfume Lab. This is also a very great alternative for the Lost Cherry DNA because it's very similar to Lost Cherry, but it's even more similar to the previously mentioned Kayali Lovefest Burning Cherry because it is also very cherry heavy, sweet, very fruity, but the Palo Santo in the base also is very prominent and it has this very clean, woody nuance at the base with the fruity, juicy sweetness. It's 35% concentration, making it an extrait de parfum, which makes it a very dense fragrance. It projects very well as well, but it might sit very close to the skin after a few hours of wearing. This also lasts 10 to 12 hours, making it an amazing alternative for the Lost Cherry DNA, which I have also given a 9 out of 10 minutes improvement rating. For the price, you get the longevity, you get the projection, you get the higher oil concentration, but the difference in the quality is somewhat noticeable, hence why I have also given this a 9 out of 10. So both of these are amazing alternatives. Gentlemen, did you like my video comparison of Lost Cherry, Cherry Smoke and Electric Cherry and the alternatives? Then leave the video a like and comment down below with your thoughts and opinions about the video and the fragrances mentioned. Which one is your favorite? Do you like the overall range? Do you dislike it? Do you have some other preferences? Leave your comments down below. I would love to see them down there. And if you liked this video as well, don't forget to subscribe to the Men's Improvement YouTube channel for more videos about fragrances, grooming, style, fashion, skincare, fitness, watches, everything that will make you, gentlemen, the best possible versions of yourselves. The last few things I want to ask you, gentlemen, is to smile more because it's free, and I want you to watch these two videos right here. This one here below is going to be my latest upload, whereas this one up here is going to be a video that the YouTube algorithm thinks you will enjoy.